Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Clyde and Stefan's mysterious meeting. Was Stefen really Harris' shooter? Days of Our Lives and rumors tease Stefen DiMera may have been Harris Michael's real shooter. He could have allured Harris behind the bistro using Ava Vitali's phone, shot him, also went back outside. Either he and Clyde Weston will have a mysterious meeting. Days of Our Lives. Ava Vitali relieved, Stefen DiMera nervous when Harris awakens from his coma in Monday, February 26. Th's occasion. Ava will be relieved, but Stefen will be nervous. Why would he be nervous about Harris awakening unless he thinks Harris knew who shot him and will say it's him? Days of Our Lives. Clyde and Stefan's mysterious meeting. Was Stefen really Harris' shooter? Rafe Hernandez will have some questions, of course, but it doesn't look like Harris is suitable to speak right down, so it'll be a waiting game. Harris' shooter shot from nearly point-blank range, and indeed though the clothes he wore were analogous to Xander Cook's jogging suit, they could fluently have been removed snappily. Harris did fade his bushwhacker as he turned around and first called for Ava, but also said to the shooter, "Oh, it's you." DOL. Stefen DiMera kept nearly saying "dies" to Ava Vitali as Stefen hung with Ava to hear some news, and indeed when they got back to Trip Johnson's apartment where Ava lives, Stefen kept nearly saying "dies" to Ava. Ava, of course, kept telling Stefen to shut up and not say the word out loud when pertaining to Harris because she wanted him to survive. Stefen didn't feel like he participated her sentiment but cloaked it as being realistic since Harris lost so important blood and actually enciphered as Trip was working on him. Stefen could have been hoping Harris would die or at the veritably least have amnesia if he did awaken. Days of Our Lives. Mysterious meeting. As Harris remains in the sanitarium, previous to his awakening, Clyde processed Stefen to Statesville for a mysterious meeting. Clyde presumably asks Stefen about Harris' status and if he's woken up, and at that point he wouldn't have, but also Stefen gets a call laterally in the week. Clyde gives Stefen some deadly orders, no doubt with pitfalls to Gabby DiMera, most lately Camila Banis, attached. She's formerly had her leg broken, maybe coming time her neck? Stefen will be hysterical not to observe Clyde's orders, indeed though he supposedly took pains ahead of the firing to set up Xander to take the fall. Harris shocking shooter, but there's still one riddle left that could be a game-changer. All products and services featured are singly chosen by editors. Still, Soaps.com may admit a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may admit certain auditable data for counting purposes. It feels like the further answers we get, the further questions are left. Harris' shooter was revealed, Everett's history was uncovered, and the Horton beautifiers were set up this week. But there are still further mystifications unraveling on Days of Our Lives, and it's clear there's still a plenty to February sweeps left. The missing piece. So Stefen shot Harris. He's resorted to some dirty tricks over the times, but cold thoroughbred murder feels like a jump. He shot Harris in the casket doubly. That's murderous under utmost circumstances, so it's not like he was just trying to make it look good. This is daytime, so there are still ways for Stefen to get out of trouble for this. Just take a look at the history of the man. He's architecture, Xander, if you want evidence, which you can do with our Xander print gallery. But it felt like crossing a line. Running medicines for Clyde is one thing, but there had to be another choice when he was told to murder a Bobby. Get protection for Gabby. Have Harris fake his death to buy time. I don't know, but there were surely other options out there. Now, will Stefen take out Harris before the Bobby can turn him in, or is this going to be when he eventually decides it's gone far enough? My big problem with this plot has been that no bone S figured out how to deal with Clyde. He's no way been my favorite baddie, but the show's been doing a decent job of making him a string-pulling uber villain who's spooking a good knob of Salem. And now with Trip's hijacking, indeed Steve and John are pulled in. But there's still some hops of sense you have to take to assign that position of eminence. Clyde's, in proposition, tangling with some important, fat, resourceful people. A masked man dressed in all black watches Deer's flitter behind the Horton house settee. That's why I am hoping there's still another twist to come, perhaps having to do with the Horton fire. That's the last riddle then. Stefen shot Harris and Officer Goldman seems the likely malefactor for who went after Lucas. That just leaves who set the fire. Who's left wing of Clyde's slaveys or cohorts? History, present and future. I'll admit, I am not super connected to the history of Days of Our Lives. I suppose I mentioned periods ago that I grew up watching The Young and the Restless and One Life to Live back in the 80s. But I still enjoyed the walk down memory lane we got with the Hortons on Wednesday. It gave me a chance to claw into the Horton family history further than I ever have. The tidbits dropped on Wednesday's show about Tommy and Marie's near marriage and Doug's marriage to Julie's mama just slightly scratched the face of just how wild these folks were. Plus, it was wonderfully bittersweet timing for us to pay homage to Doug and Bill Hayes, but don't worry, it's not the last of the legend just yet. Days John, Roman, Lucas, Chad, Kate and Marlena crowd around the Horton time capsule in the burnt home, and that's why I am really hoping that this and that time capsule Alice left are a prelude to commodity big ahead for the Hortons. It could time wonderfully with the show's 60th anniversary and bring us back around to the brilliantly bonkers family that started the show. You can read further about my studies on that then. At last. Okay, we got evidence that Bobby and Everett are the same person fast, and from both Steve and Jada, in case we misdoubted it. Except, it really isn't that presto because we've been staying for some time for this to come out. And it still doesn't give us answers. Why did Bobby introduce himself to Stephanie as Everett back when they first met? Has he really forgotten everything, or does he, as Jada claimed looking into his eyes, know the verity? Did the coma wipe out his recollections, or has Everett no way known about Bobby? What did he do to Jada to shake her that much? And is he connected to the Medicines and Clyde ever? No matter what, I am enjoying the story it's giving Jada and Stephanie. Seriously, however, Steph, run down and figure this out from the outside. If they're doing a did story, it's generally the bad personalities that are the alters, but I'd love if he was born Bobby and good Joe Everett is the personality who would be lost if he's integrated. Call it a Total Recall moment. Or, for General Hospital suckers, a Kate Howard/Connie Falconeri twist. Slapdash studies. I suppose they retrying to humanize Constantine and explain his abomination for Victor as being because of the death of his son. But I also suppose it may be too late for nuance for him. Constantine and Maggie sit with coffee mugs on the Kiriaki's lounge. Monday ended with Paulina in extremity. Also we heard from Marlena that she had a heart attack off screen and saw nothing further the rest of the week. Show, do and tell days. It's easy drama, right there, taking us through the heart attack, everyone's fear, and trying to save her. Rather we got, Abe wouldn't leave her side. Tate's back. He adds a welcome maternal dynamic between Teresa and Brady, and I actually believe all of his responses including I detest you. He feels like they don't believe him and left him to rot. Look, my therapist always tells me he's available if I need him, but if he ever came knocking on my door like Marlena did to offer free comforting, I'd be a little upset. Also, Alex is Aunt Ben. He doesn't have the same fellowship with Marlena.